Tale-tellers, you're in for a treat today. Today's story is one of fiction, by the fiction series Midnight Gory Story, written by Braden. He just released his book out on lulu.com and is allowing me to share one of his spine-tingling stories with you today. Turn those lights off, the sound up, and prepare for a scare. The title of today's narrated story is Dance, Grandpa, Dance. One stormy, gloomy day, a boy received some news that he would never forget. He heard about the passing of his grandfather. The boy and his grandfather were very close, so he was sad. A few days later, it was time for the funeral. Everyone who came dressed in black. The boy looked inside the coffin to see his grandfather for the last time. The old man was lying there with a smile, accompanied by wrinkles on his face. He was wearing his favorite hat, a black fedora that matched his white button-up shirt, black suspenders, and black slacks. The boy held back his tears as the service began. Everybody listened as the preacher spoke of the man and his accomplishments. He felt very proud of his grandfather. As he looked around the gravesite, he noticed everybody crying and hiding their tears behind their glasses. As the preacher brought the sermon to a close, he asked that they all bow their heads in prayer. The boy lowered his head as the prayer began. Soon after the preacher started, the boy looked up at his grandfather. He couldn't keep his eyes off the man. After a couple of seconds went by, the boy witnessed something he could never quite explain. He'd seen his grandfather sit up and turn his head to him. His mouth had slowly grown into a big smile, almost a devilish grin. Then the old man had hopped up and began to dance around the graveyard. His grandfather had danced and danced. He had moved as if he were young again. However, you could hear the clickety-clack of the old man's frail and brittle bones. The old man made his way over to his wife, the now widowed grandmother of the little boy, and whispered into her ear. As he spoke, a smile rose upon her face. The old man then gave her a kiss on the cheek and began to dance his way back inside his coffin. The old man sat back down in his coffin, but before he lay back into his final resting position, he took a look at the boy and gave him a smile, a wink, and then tipped his hat. Right after the preacher said Amen, the boy rubbed his eyes, not knowing if what he'd seen was real or if it was just his imagination. The boy then watched everyone say their final goodbyes as he and his family got ready to head back home. When they arrived home, the boy decided to call it an early night due to the sad occasion and busy day. The next morning, he woke up to his mum sitting at the kitchen table with her head down, sobbing aloud, phone clutched in hand. "Mum, what is wrong?" the boy asked. "It's your grandma. She's dead." Your father went over to her house to check on her this morning, to see how she was doing. He found her hanging from a chandelier in the foyer, and in her pocket a note that read, "I did it. Just like you asked. Now, we'll be together again." Wow, that is a great story. If you're a fan of Goosebumps and those short fiction stories that rattle those creepy bones, this is a book for you. And seeing as this cool guy reached out to me, I'm going to mention his book. So check out his book on lulu.com called Midnight Gory Story, written by Braden. The book itself has a whole bunch of scary stories, as well as really, really freaky illustrations, by the way. The creepiest images are drawn by... Okay, you must forgive me if I mess up this name, alright? Gudrud Vadekonch. Okay, I think I nailed that one. Alright, so seriously, these images are freaky and have a certain morbid style to them. I actually really like them. So I'll provide a link to the book, and I hope you enjoyed that spine tingler. Who knows, there might be more to come. And if you enjoyed this short story, show me some love. That's spelled LUV, by the way. By clicking the like, follow, and or subscribe button. It's people like you that keep me going. So turn on the lights, stay creepy, and as always, tale tellers, till next time.